You would think marriage is built on transparency, right? Well, tell that to the guy who just found out his husband has been running a secret diary about him in his own damn phone. If you're laughing, good for you. If you're wincing, welcome to my anniversary. Started like a joke. Really? Morning coffee, the same buzzing alarms, the same chaotic rush before work. Except somewhere between my leather briefcase and his worn messenger bag, our phones got switched. I didn't notice until hours later, stuck in a meeting, when his screen lit up with a text that wasn't mine to see. And in that split second, my world tilted. Ethan had stumbled into my phone. He wasn't supposed to. And now, he knew. The secret I had been guarding for 2 years wasn't shameful, not exactly. It wasn't an affair, nor a betrayal. It was something quieter, something more dangerous. Love expressed in silence. I had been cataloging every small way I cared for him, the late-night blanket pulled over his shoulders when he fell asleep on the couch, the playlists I made to soften his long commutes, the flowers I placed in his office without a note. I had been loving him loudly in secret because I thought he'd never notice otherwise. And now he knew. When I came home that night, the city outside was glowing with the shimmer of New York lights. Our apartment was darker than usual, only one lamp glowing in the corner. Ethan was there, leaning against the couch, holding my phone like it was a grenade. His brown eyes were wet, not angry but heavy, like he had swallowed a truth too big to keep down. "You," he whispered, almost disbelieving. "You've been doing all this. For me." I froze in the doorway, my chest tight. Every instinct screamed to make a joke, to deflect, to downplay. But his voice was trembling, and for once, I didn't want to run. "I didn't want you to feel obligated," I said softly. "I just wanted you to feel loved." The silence between us was so sharp I thought it might cut me open. Then, Ethan crossed the room in 3 strides and pulled me into his arms. His grip was desperate, like a man holding on after nearly drowning. "You idiot," he breathed against my neck. "Why would you ever hide something like that from me?" Because I was scared. Because love between men like us isn't always safe, even in America. Because sometimes even a husband can doubt he deserves to be cherished. But I didn't say any of that. I just held him tighter, as if my arms could explain everything my words couldn't. That night, the world outside continued as usual, the honking taxis, the chatter of late-night diners, the hum of the city that never cared about our story. But inside that apartment, our love cracked open in a way it never had before. Vulnerable, raw, beautifully messy. I remembered the first time I saw him. Ethan had been sitting alone at a diner in Brooklyn, a beat-up notebook in hand, sketching absent-mindedly while sipping the world's most burnt coffee. I had watched him for 10 minutes before I dared to say hello. He laughed when I told him his art looked like chicken scratch. That laugh, it hooked me, reeled me in, and never let me go. Years later, marriage had dulled none of it. If anything, it had made me greedy for his smile, his warmth, his messy hair in the mornings. But I had fallen into a trap too many couples do, thinking routine was enough, thinking that the small acts of love, if unspoken, still carried weight. I never realized how invisible they might have been to him until now. And yet, he had seen them because I had written them down. Because in some reckless, foolish attempt at keeping my heart alive, I had created a trail of breadcrumbs back to my devotion. The next morning, Ethan didn't let me slip into silence. He placed 2 mugs of coffee on the table, sat across from me, and stared until I looked up. "I don't need grand gestures," he said. "But I need you. All of you. Not just the silent version who loves me from the shadows." My throat burned. "I didn't know if you'd want all of me." He reached across the table, his hand covering mine. "I married you because I wanted all of you. The messy parts, the scared parts, the quiet parts. Stop hiding. From me. From us." His words were simple, but they sank deep, unearthing every fear I had buried. And just like that, something shifted. For the first time in years, I felt seen. Not just as a husband who provided, not just as a partner who played his role, but as a man who loved recklessly, who wanted to worship every inch of the person he chose to spend his life with. That was the day our marriage stopped being routine and started being real again. Ethan's words echoed in my chest long after that morning coffee. Stop hiding. From me. From us. It sounded so simple, yet it cracked something inside me I didn't even know had hardened. For years, I had loved him like a shadow, always close, always there, but never stepping fully into the light. And now, after one clumsy phone swap, the light was burning too bright to ignore. But revelations don't fix everything overnight. If anything, they make the cracks more visible. In the weeks that followed, Ethan and I danced between closeness and confrontation. He wanted me to open up about everything me fears, my thoughts, my scars, and I wanted to give him that. I did. But the words caught in my throat like barbed wire. Every time I tried to say, "I'm afraid of losing you," it twisted into silence. Every time I wanted to admit, "I think I'm unworthy of how much you love me," my lips refused to shape the sounds. So instead, I kept doing what I always did. Making playlists, packing his favorite snacks into his work bag, washing his shirts so they smelled like cedar and soap. And while Ethan appreciated those things, I saw the frustration building in him. He didn't want to be loved silently anymore. He wanted the storm. One night it came. We were sitting on the fire escape outside our apartment, the summer heat pressing heavy against our skin. The city was alive below us, laughter, music floating up from a bar 2 blocks down. Ethan leaned against the railing, his profile glowing under the streetlight, and I thought he looked like something I could spend eternity staring at. But then he turned, his eyes sharp. "Why is it so hard for you to just say it?" My chest tightened. "Say what?" "That you love me," he shot back, too quickly. "Not just in the way you fold my laundry or refill my coffee." Out loud. Raw. No walls. I swallowed hard. "I do say it." "No," Ethan said, his voice breaking just slightly. "You whisper it. You hide it between the cracks of routine. But I need more, Alex. I need to feel it in the open. I don't want a husband who loves me in secret. I want a partner who's not afraid to bleed for me." The words gutted me, and suddenly all the defenses I had built, all the excuses came crashing down. "Do you want to know why I hide?" I snapped, louder than I intended. "Because the world doesn't let men like us be soft. Because every time I held your hand in public, I felt eyes on us like knives. Because I learned a long time ago that love like ours is safer when it's quiet. And I thought if I stayed quiet enough, maybe I wouldn't lose you." The silence that followed was deafening. My chest heaved, my fists clenched tight against my knees. Ethan's eyes glistened in the dim light, but he didn't look away. He stepped closer, his hand trembling as it touched my cheek. "Alex," he whispered, voice cracking, "you could never lose me. Not because of fear, not because of silence. The only way you'd lose me is if you stopped trying." And then, in the middle of the fire escape, with the city screaming beneath us, I broke. The tears came hot, unstoppable, the kind I hadn't let myself shed in years. Ethan pulled me against him, and I buried my face in his shoulder, shaking like a boy who had just been told love was safe after all. That night, for the first time, I told him everything. How I still heard the echo of my father's voice saying men don't cry. How I had hidden our love even from myself in the early years, afraid to admit how badly I needed him. How every quiet act of devotion was a way of loving him without risking rejection. Ethan listened, no interruptions, just his fingers tracing circles on my back, as if to remind me he wasn't going anywhere. And when I finally said the words loud, unshaking, through tears and breathless relief, "I love you. I love you. I love you," it felt like freedom. After that night, something shifted between us. Not magically, not perfectly, but real. Ethan stopped waiting for me to be flawless, and I stopped waiting for him to read my silence. We learned to meet in the middle, with words, with laughter, with messy arguments that ended in kisses against the kitchen counter. On our next anniversary, I didn't leave anything to chance. I planned a dinner on the rooftop of our building, string lights swaying in the warm wind, candles flickering against the skyline. Ethan arrived, skeptical at first, then stunned when he saw the table set with all his favorites. "You did this?" he asked, voice soft, almost boyish. I nodded, my heart pounding. This time, I'm not hiding it. I love you, every damn part of you, and I'm going to say it as many times as it takes for you to never doubt it again. He smiled then, that crooked, devastating smile that had wrecked me since the diner in Brooklyn. And in that moment, under the New York sky, his hand in mine, I realized love doesn't need to be silent to survive. It needs to be loud, messy, fierce. So we kissed, not like the world was watching, but like the world didn't matter. And for once, I didn't care who saw, because he was mine, and I was his. And this time, nothing about it was silent. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.